The Galactic Dominion's war chamber hummed with tension. Admiral Vrexel slammed his four-fingered fist against the holographic display table, scattering light maps of a dozen conquered star systems across the curved walls. Around him, 7 species of the Dominion's high command shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The Krethen with their silver exoskeletons, the gas-breathing Malurans sealed in their pressure suits, and the ancient, many-eyed Voss who had been waging wars since before humanity discovered fire. 17 fleets, Vrexel growled, his voice like grinding stone. 17 fleets sent to that backwater blue planet in the last 4 centuries. Not one returned. Not one signal. Not one survivor. The chamber fell silent. Commander Zila of the Malurans pulled up a pulsing red star map. At its center sat a small, unremarkable solar system, 3rd planet from a yellow dwarf star. Earth. Perhaps the fleets were lost in transit, she suggested carefully. 17 times? Vrexel turned slowly. No. Something on that planet destroys everything we send. Today we find out what. They sent one ship first. A cloaked reconnaissance vessel crewed by 12 of the Dominion's finest operatives, commanded by a cold and calculating officer named Drix, who had scouted 40 worlds without incident. Drix brought his ship into low orbit above Earth and activated the deep scan array. What he saw confused him. The planet was loud. Impossibly, chaotically loud. Billions of the small, soft creatures below were moving in every direction at once. Building, driving, arguing, laughing, fighting each other over small pieces of land, then shaking hands and trading with those same enemies the following morning. They have no hive mind, Drix murmured, leaning closer to his screen. No central command structure. No unified defense grid. His second officer, a young Krethen named Vis, studied the energy readings. Sir, their weapons. They're primitive compared to ours. Basic ballistic technology, chemical propulsion, early-stage fusion reactors. Drix frowned. Then why haven't our fleets returned? He got his answer 40 seconds later when his cloaking device failed. Something that had never happened before. Earth's electromagnetic interference, wild and unfiltered, had overloaded the system. Within 3 minutes, 6 human fighter jets were circling his vessel. Drix stared at them. They were tiny, fragile. Physically, he could crush one of these creatures with a single hand. But they did not run. They did not hesitate. They flew in tight formation around his ship, and a voice crackled through his communication array in 17 different languages simultaneously. Unidentified aircraft. You have entered restricted airspace. Respond or be engaged. Drix responded. What happened next was not what the Galactic Dominion expected. The humans didn't capture Drix. They invited him to breakfast. A man named Colonel James Rutherford of the United States Space Defense Command sat across from Drix in a secure facility in Nevada, poured 2 cups of coffee, offering one generously, and folded his hands on the table with a calm, easy smile. So, Rutherford said, you're finally sending scouts instead of fleets. That's progress. Drix stared at him. You knew we were coming? Son, we've been tracking Dominion fleet movements for about 200 years. Rutherford sipped his coffee. We let the first few fleets get close enough to see what they were dealing with. After that, he shrugged simply. You destroyed them, Drix said. We defended our home. Rutherford's voice didn't change. Still calm. Still pleasant. See, that's the thing your Dominion keeps miscalculating. You look at us and see a divided species. Different nations, different languages, different governments always arguing with each other. You think that's weakness. Drix said nothing. Rutherford leaned forward slightly. But the exact second, something threatens this planet from the outside, every single one of those arguing nations points in the same direction. He set down his coffee cup. We don't unify despite our differences, Commander. We unify through them. 7 billion people, each one convinced they personally have something worth dying for. He smiled again. It didn't reach his eyes. That's not weakness. That's the most dangerous thing in the known universe. Drix returned to the Dominion War Chamber 3 days later. He stood before Admiral Vrexel and the entire High Command, and he delivered his report in complete silence, not speaking a single word. Instead, he placed a small human coffee cup on the holographic table. Attached was a handwritten note from Colonel Rutherford. It read, "We're not hard to find. Come for a visit anytime. Just don't come for a fight. Your previous 17 fleets can confirm how that ends. Regards, Earth." The war chamber was silent for a very long time. Admiral Vrexel looked at the coffee cup, then at his generals, then at the star map where Earth glowed small and blue and impossibly, defiantly alive. "Cancel the invasion," he said quietly. Nobody argued.